Hey, what's up, guys? So this is gonna be a laid back, chill kind of video. As you can see, I'm in my jammies, sitting in my room. But this is gonna be kind of a birth vlog. I know a lot of people have been asking me, being a new mom, how was having a baby at 24. So this is gonna be my birthday, February 13th, which is, I don't know if anybody knows, but I'm from New Orleans and Mardi Gras is really big, and Mardi Gras falls different every year, but just happened to in 2018 fall on the day I was supposed to give birth. So on that day, earlier that day, nothing was happening. Like no Braxton Hicks, no contractions, no mucus plug. Well, they had already stripped my membrane about a week before, but like my water didn't break. I wasn't feeling any kind of contractions. Nothing was different. I wasn't eating more, drinking less, nauseous, nothing. Now my whole pregnancy, I was not nauseous. I didn't get morning sickness the first 3 months. I literally ate whatever I wanted. I never really had the issue. The only time I had an issue was like when I didn't eat, I would get really, really nauseous, but I think that's every pregnant woman. But so fast forward to February 12th at midnight. Literally, guys, at midnight. I started getting up and having to go pee. Like I would go pee and then like 10 minutes later I had to go pee again. I'm like, oh my God. Like, and I guess it's because, you know, like they said, the baby's pressing your bladder. It's kind of getting into the position of giving birth. So I'm like at midnight, I'm starting to like pee. And then after a while, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm starting to get contractions. And they were at that time, I want to say they were like 8 minutes apart. And that really wasn't like, they weren't painful. Like you could feel them, but they weren't like, oh my God, I'm going to die. So as we kind of progressed, it's about 12:30ish a.m. on, well, at that time it's the 13th at that time, and I'm like, okay, I'm telling my mom, I'm like, look, I think she's coming. So we pack up the car, call my boyfriend, like, hey, I think she's coming, so we're on our way to the hospital. So we get to the hospital and they direct us to labor and delivery, and guys, it is like starting to get really intense with the contractions. Like I'm having to have to stop talking and like just breathe through. I'm like it's getting really hard. Okay. So, and then when we finally make it to the hospital, like I said, make sure they bring us to labor and delivery, and they send like a doctor in to check me, of course, and he's like, okay, you're 5 centimeters. Mind you guys, at 5 centimeters, like even if I was already admitted into the delivery, or labor and delivery, you can get your epidural at 5 centimeters, I think. So, like he tells me I may have to go home because I'm like 5 centimeters, but my water didn't break. So that's like his thing. Like my water didn't break, so I could still probably have to go home. And I'm like, I'm not going home. Like I'm not. I'm staying here. Like I'm having contractions. It's really intense. But eventually he's like, okay, we're going to admit you. We're having a baby today. And I'm like, I don't know who's having a baby with you. I'm having a baby born with my doctor. Right? Because like who wants to have a, you know, you build a rapport with the doctor that you want eventually to deliver your baby. So then the nurses come in, they put the IV in. So they attempt to put the IV in like my hand. She's looking at me and I'm looking at her. She's looking at me and I'm looking at her. And she's like trying to get it in, and she's like, oh, I missed the vein. So guys, she stuck me for no reason in my hand. And when I tell you the pain when they're trying to stick in your hand and they miss, miserable. Okay, so then she's like, okay, I'm going to try it in a different, I'm going to try it in your forearm. So as soon as she tries it in my forearm, boom, she gets it. I'm like, praise the good Lord. So then after that, I get up, they put me in a wheelchair or whatever, and they transfer me, you know, to the big delivery room. So we get in the delivery room, and they're like, okay. So then they're like, okay, we're about to give you your epidural. So I'm like, cool. So they, of course, they tell everybody to get out of the room, and then it's just the nurse and the anesthesiologist, and of course, you know, they put you on the bed and they tell you to, you know, roll over, and then you know, they wipe you down and you feel a stick. Now I won't lie, it was a sting, but it wasn't like a sting where I was gonna cry and like not be able to take it. It was just more like they say a bee sting, like other people describe it. It's literally felt like a bee sting. So they, you know, that's them injecting the numbing potion or serum, whatever you want to call it, in your spine. And then that's when they put the little plastic thing in, and they insert the pump for you to receive your epidural, you know, as many times as you like. So that they put the pump in, like the epidural was pretty good. Like I was able to hold the nurse's hand and everything. My anesthesiologist was perfect, guys. Like I was only numb from kind of right on top of my navel, right on top of my knee. Like I can move my feet, I can lift my feet into stirrups when it's time. Like I literally had the best anesthesiologist. Like some people say like their legs feel like brick. I was totally fine. Like my legs did not feel like brick. The only thing I will complain about is not being able to eat, guys. Like it's so hard when you're so used to being able to eat like when you want when you're pregnant. Like normally you eat on demand basically. And so to be eating ice chips from 12 all the way, because I didn't have Nova until 9:20. I didn't have Nova until 9:20. So from 12 to 9 I was literally eating ice chips. It was miserable, guys. That's the only thing. And like everybody else is eating in your room and you're like, can't have nothing. Okay, so then they basically told me, you know, time to go ahead and rest. Like we're trying to get in touch with your doctor or whatever. So I would say about 8:30 or 8 o'clock they started like coming in the room and setting up the room because they're like, okay, you're about to have the baby. So because my contractions are getting bigger, even though I couldn't feel my contractions, you know, they monitor them on the machine. Another thing, as I'm thinking about it, they put the heartbeat monitor on your stomach so you can hear baby's heartbeat. But guys, I love to hear a heartbeat, but it was so loud, like I could not get any sleep. Like, that was the hardest thing I can say, not being able to get sleep. So everybody set them up in my room, and when they went to go check me again, they were like, the nurse got really cautious and she was like, I don't mean to like be like give you bad news, but it looks like Nova pooped in the wound or whatever. And so when babies poop in the wound, they're really cautious about hoping the baby doesn't swallow the feces because they're still can be very poisonous to newborns. So when they saw the feces in the amniotic fluid, that's when they were worried. So I had NICU in my delivery room. I had my regular OBGYN, her nurse staff, my mom, my boyfriend. So like my room was packed. So fast forward, like I said, everybody, like they're loading up the room, like they're getting the little baby scale together. They're getting, you know, everything ready for Nova to enter the world. So finally, you know, we start to push. And of course, like as everybody says, you don't really know if you're pushing. There was intense pressure down there. That's one thing I can say. I felt like just like pressure, not painful pressure, but it just kind of a little uncomfortable. So as I'm pushing, I'm starting to like lose oxygen. So they put the oxygen mask on me, and Nova gets stuck in the birth canal. So like her shoulder, like as a baby comes through the birth canal, they dip under your pelvic bone and come out. So she gets stuck there, like her shoulder. So the doctor was like, we're gonna have to use the vacuum, you know, to put on her head to suck her out. And this kind of hefty nurse, I'll never forget, this hefty nurse was like, we're not using a vacuum, we're gonna push her out. So she got on there and she pushed Nola out, and there she was. That's the one thing I can say. When she came out, guys, she was just like laying there, like just like arm stretched, leg stretched. Like, you know, normally how in the movies you see a baby cry and you're like, okay, you're good. But Nova was not crying. So I'm like freaking out, like everybody's, it's just like dead silent in the room. And then they take the bulb to suck out, you know, the fluid, and they're upstairs to cry. Like I can hear her cry, and I was just so happy. Like people say, there's nothing like hearing your baby cry for the first time. And then of course after, you know, they got her all set up, they gave her on my chest, we did skin to skin, and it was the best thing ever. Best thing ever. Now one thing I will say, recovery from having a baby is like different for everybody, but it really is hard. But one thing I can say, I commend all the moms out there that has had babies or multiple babies. It is really hard, but it's amazing what our bodies can do. So, I mean, I hope my birth vlog was entertaining. But stay tuned. I have so much more for you guys. See you soon.